This is the Ostation Pro 2, and this is the next iteration for Ostation, Olight, Listen, this company is really pumping out some good stuff, and I like the fact that they continue to innovate and they're giving us something new all the time. And this is the update to the Ostation X that came out, where you had to choose if you wanted to do double A or if you wanted to do triple A. It could not do both. Well, here you go. They've given you the update that I think a lot of people were asking for. Now the Ostation Pro 2 gives you double A and triple A. It doesn't matter which way you put the battery in to get the charging started. This thing is a 3-in-1. This analyzes batteries, so i.e. tests them, stores batteries up to 12 each for each individual subset, whether it's AA or AAA, and charges batteries. So if you have a junk drawer full of battery storage holder, this might be your solution to get rid of that, or maybe this can be a companion to that. It also now gives you an OLED screen. The screen is giving you everything that you need it to. You see right there, it's sensing what type of batteries it's charging. So right now it determines that it senses NIMH, or I think that's NIMIH, NIMH batteries. Those are some Amazon batteries I had laying around. It can charge those. And that's going to be my first complaint about this specific station. It only can charge Olight lithium ion 1.5 volt batteries. So if you have any of these, it can charge these, but only the Olight rechargeable lithium ion batteries. And that is because Olight has smart cell technology in all of their batteries. So each individual cell has smart technology, and this item can talk to the Olight battery. But I've had some instances before, because it does have a reject tray right here in the front. And what it does is it spits out batteries that either are bad or rejected because it can't charge them because it's the wrong format type. I had to learn that the hard way, because I had a ton of these rechargeable Coast X batteries. And these are also some lithium ion batteries, but it cannot charge other brands of lithium ion batteries. So all these I still have to charge with my USB type C, which does suck. And I learned that this is without me reading the instructions. I just popped them in and they started spitting them out in this little trash area. I was like, what the hell? These things aren't bad, but so lesson learned the hard way. So what it does, once you put the batteries inside, it actually analyzes each battery and stores batteries at the same time. So it's storing batteries at the top up there. You can kind of see those in there. Those are all waiting to be analyzed and then eventually charged. So it can store batteries that have yet to be charged. And then at the very bottom, it stores batteries that have been charged. So once it charges some batteries at the very bottom, it will store them down there. You can see a couple of triple A's in there kind of waiting around to be dispensed out. And this thing spits out batteries like a PEG dispenser or PEZ dispenser. So when you go, it actually will give you 2 batteries if you have 2 available. And then when you close it up, it will spit out more. And then the triple A's on top. So when you open this up, it will give you 2 batteries. You close it. If there's any more in there, it will spit those out. So I can put these in there. And so one thing is it only has 2 slots for charging. So it just took 2 AA's and it's charging those 2 AA's. So I just put those triple A's inside. It's not going to begin to charge those until there is a free spot. Another thing is that I love this OLED screen, but it is a fingerprint magnet. I mean, I just wiped mine down before we got started, but it will be fingerprinty. It is what it is. This unit is small, compact. I can see this living on your workbench in a garage. I can see this living maybe on a kitchen counter if your wife is down with that. It is very industrial looking, so maybe in just a more inconspicuous area. So that might make it worthwhile for you. The thing that they've also done, the difference between the Ostation Pro 2 and the Ostation 2 is you do get the built-in charging for any Olight flashlights that you may have. So over here, you get this little flip down station over here. And so I just had a couple of Olight flashlights that were running. So you can take your flashlights that you may have and you actually can put them on here. And when you put them on, it will change to red as an indicator that it is now charging the light. And then once it goes green, those lights are ready to go. It is pass-through charging, meaning that even if I turn this unit off, it will continue to charge the flashlights on the side. So if we look here, it is sensing the Olight batteries on the very side there, 65 and 64% respectively. But if I go up here and I push this back arrow, I can go see the status of the batteries. I can go to the menu and I have connection to the app. I can turn the screen off at the very bottom, and you can just turn this. If you turn the screen off at the very bottom, you literally would just touch anywhere on the screen to turn it back on. So I just turned the screen off. You can see some of those fingerprints. Touch anywhere to turn the screen back on. You can also do charging schedule. So if you want this thing to only draw power during certain times, you can do that as well. And then over here on the far left is the power button, and then you slide to turn this thing off. Now the thing is that I just turned this unit off, but you can see that the batteries on the side are still charging. So this is pass-through charging. It doesn't matter if you turn the unit off. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you're trying to if you want this thing to totally not draw power whatsoever, you have to unplug it from the wall. So here you can just turn it back on with that screen. Once you turn it back on, it takes a second to remember what the hell it was doing. So it needs to remember that it had batteries on the side and that it has batteries inside. So it will begin to reanalyze and do all that stuff at once. And then you can figure all that out. One complaint is that when it goes to spit out batteries, it is a little bit loud. And by loud, I mean like if you are in an office environment, if you're in a Teams meeting or something like that, you will hear a clink, a noise of the battery just kind of clamp down from nowhere. And it's not to the point where it will wake you up out your sleep. Well, I guess it could, but I wouldn't put this on my nightstand. But it's just something to think about. So it doesn't matter, as I mentioned earlier, for the very top, when you put these batteries inside. So if you have some batteries that you want to charge up, you can put them in. It doesn't matter the polar pattern that you put this in. You can put it in that way. You can put it in this way. It does not matter. It will analyze the battery. So if I put in a battery that's incorrect, I'm going to put this Coast battery back in, and it's not going to reject it right now. But eventually, if I wake up in the morning time, it will eventually reject that Coast battery. So I can just load this up until it's full, and it will just go through the process and go through those batteries, and it'll be good to go. Now, one thing I will say that is a small complaint of mine is that there's not a true indicator of what is what. So if I take off this flashlight on the side, I guess it's not super instantaneous. So I just took that flashlight off, and the screen is not really immediately telling me which flashlight, which item I just took off. So I guess I wish this screen was a little bit more an indicator of what the hell is what. Like if you look at the screen closely, it doesn't really tell you what bay is what. I guess those two big lines indicate the batteries that are being charged in the main portion, and then the smaller ones are the flashlights on the side. But as you can see, it's been nearly 30 seconds, and I've taken that flashlight off, and it's still reading. It's still reading the screen as having that showing up. So it's not the most instantaneous thing in the world, but you don't need this to be instantaneous. This is not a computer in a normal sense. So this is still on Kickstarter. I don't know what the price is going to be on this. For disclosure, Olight sent this to me. They are not paying me for this video. As a matter of fact, they don't even require that I make this video. I wanted to really get some time with this, and I've had this for almost a month. And I will admit, I've used the mess out of it. I have had to retrain my buying habits. I normally had a lot of lithium ion rechargeable batteries laying around. I did purposely make purchase of Amazon rechargeable NIMI or MH. I'm always messing up the name because the battery, I understand that lithium ion batteries can be more dangerous than the NI batteries. And so I can understand that. I know that lithium ion can normally get you a higher output, but it doesn't really matter if I'm just swapping out toy batteries, and I'm swapping out batteries and thermostats and doorknobs to my front, to my garage door and stuff like that. So if you need a more demanding thing, then that might be something you look into. Now, you see the screen is still reading 4 batteries, right? I've taken that flashlight off probably 2 minutes ago. So what I've noticed, what I've had to do, and I don't know if this is specific to my unit, I've actually had to go and I've had to turn my unit off. And this is how I normally am able to get the unit to kind of reset and realize that there's no longer a battery over there. So if I take it off, now it's going to reset. And while it's doing that, I'll pull up the app and kind of show you what the app looks like. These are all first world problems because, hey, at the end of the day, they gave us a screen. They gave us something. That's a good thing. So the Olight app is ever evolving. There's a lot of stuff that you can add to them, old bulbs, and just all sorts of different things that you can do. Anyways, you can see here, once you have the items there, it says the Ostation Pro, and mine is still syncing and linking up with it. But once I do that, I can click on it and it will tell me what it senses being charged at the moment. Okay. So right now it's saying 99% for something and 99% for something else. If we look at this, it's not reading on the screen yet, but it will eventually pop up onto the screen. So these sometimes don't exactly match one another, and I don't know why that is either. So I don't know. One thing I just want to kind of tell you is that I don't know if this is because I have a pre-production model or if this is going to be, your mileage may vary for your specific items. I just kind of have noticed that mine can be a little bit quirky. So mine is ready for an upgrade. So that's one thing about working with this type of tech. The upgrade found to version 1.0.13. I'm going to click update rather. And once I go to update, it begins the update process, and then eventually I think it will take the screen and make it so it's unavailable and all the other type of stuff. Does it work at its core? As in, does it spit batteries into the charging area and charge them? Yes. Does it get rid of batteries it doesn't like? Yes. And does it store batteries? Yes, it does all that stuff. If you want the convenience of being able to use this, you see the software upgrade and process screen, what that will look like. So it is easy for you to understand what the hell your unit is doing. It is a beautiful screen. I will say this, Olight, you definitely invested in a very beautiful screen. But if you want to just be able to send your kids to your workbench in your garage and say, hey, give me some AAAs or give me some AAs, and they can just walk out, pull out the drawer, and grab you a couple of batteries whenever the hell they're done charging, then this is a station that I could recommend. There's not a lot of other stations. I don't know if there's any other stations with this type of convenience. I'm pretty sure there are big rechargeable stations that exists in America, but for this type of convenience and this type of support, I don't think they exist. And me personally, if you know you go through a lot like my family does, I am constantly changing toy batteries, batteries on thermostats, batteries on just anything that you can think of. This works for me because I can send my 10-year-old or 16-year-old out to the man cave to get some batteries. If you don't have Olight's proprietary batteries, their flashlights, don't get the Ostation Pro 2 because you don't necessarily, I mean, I guess you could future-proof yourself and get the actual charger on the side, but if you don't have a bunch of these flashlights already, you're kind of spending money, especially if you don't intend to get these. If you already have these, you got some arc velds, you got some batons, you got whatever, then yeah, go for it, get the charger. This kind of makes it more convenient because this is probably the most inconvenient thing about Olight flashlights is when it's time to charge their magnetic instances, it can be a whole headache. So this is what it looks like when it restarts. You get the Olight screen. I wanted to show you what the recharge process looks like. Now let's see if my unit is sensing the battery tech better now that it has done an update. I wanted to be fair and gracious to this, and I'm running my mouth during the entire update process because I do want to see if it will work better now that it has updated. So let's give it a second here. So mine is still reading 4 things are being charged, which is pretty accurate because right now I have 4 things being charged. I got 2 flashlights and 2 batteries that are being charged inside. Now let's just see if I take okay, here we go. So it just spit 2 batteries into these area down here. So the only thing showing being charged are the 2 flashlights on the side. That's good. How long will it take until the thing goes away? You hear that noise. It just spit out some batteries for me to use. So just spit out a AAA up here in real time. So that's pretty good. So, and I can just keep it in this little storage area for whenever the heck I'm ready to use it. And it's going to automatically spit out more batteries to charge. Here's my concern though. It still is showing as if I still have the Olight flashlights on the side. Hopefully more. I think that this can be fixed in firmware. I will just be real with you. This is something that can be fixed in firmware because if you really think about this, bacon, lettuce, and tomatoes, Is it charging batteries or isn't it? It is. Is the screen, which gives you the beautiful aesthetics on mine, working like it should? No. But can it be fixed in firmware? Yes, I think it can be. So I just spit out my AAA up here. As you can see now, the screen has just started charging 2 more batteries. Both of those are still the NIMH batteries. And it still thinks that it's charging Olight battery flashlights. Let me see if I close it on the side. Will it? No, it still doesn't change it. Hopefully that does get remedied. Hopefully that gets remedied, because you know you would like to be able to know in real time. But one indicator is on the side, as I mentioned, there are red lights on the side of the unit that will turn green when your flashlights are fully charged. So even if the screen is being wonky, you have other indicators to know. So what I've been doing is I've been leaving this sitting on my workbench. I'm leaving flashlights just sitting on the charger at all times, and I just grab one if I want one. It's been very convenient. It has worked out really well, and I really, really like the functionality of it. Comment down below. What do you think about the Ostation Pro 2 by Olight? It is a smash or a pass. S for smash, P for pass. I will link down below the Kickstarter for this bad boy. I normally don't talk about Kickstarter projects, but Olight funds their Kickstarters pretty often, and they deliver to their customers. So this is not a fly-by-night company. So I feel comfortable talking about this one. First time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.